Hello. So something messed up happened last week. A flood basically hit my hometown and destroyed the first level of our family home. So you can see in this footage, it basically wrecked everything. Mud everywhere. This is the second day of the flood. I mean, I couldn't really record the first day because it was just completely overwhelming, but we managed to somehow clean up as much as we could on the first day, and this is the second day. As you can see, it doesn't seem like we made any progress. This is the inside of the car that we parked there. It's completely gone. It's completely unsalvageable. There's really no point trying to repair it or clean it because it was completely submerged. It was completely underwater. This thing was completely underwater. So the only way to completely fix it is to basically take everything out and dump the water out and put it back in, which we're not going to do. This is what's left of the living room and dining room. I mean, we cleaned it up as best we could, but there's still mud everywhere. As you can see on the wall, there is a line there. That's how high the water was. So it basically stained the walls and it submerged everything. And we tried to save as much as we could. As you can see here, everything was covered in mud, muck, just nastiness. But some things we couldn't save, unfortunately. So you can see here, yeah, the water was still in the house. So basically we had to take everything out of the house, rinse it, wash it, and then put it back in the house. This is the process we had to do. And it was very, very tedious. Mud was everywhere. It started to stink. As you can see here, mud was in the bathroom. A very, very thick coat of mud. This is the back of the house. Everything completely gone. The water basically lifted everything up and then smashed it back down into the ground once it receded. This is the back room. Again, a complete mess, and a weird odor started to permeate from this room, so it kind of scared me a bit. I didn't want to know what was that smell. Could be a dead animal or something. And this is another angle of the back room. Mud was still wet, still slick, so we had to be careful. And yeah, this is what happened to our little house. Really sad, but we had to do what we had to do, so we basically started cleaning up, took the power hose out, and did what we can. And this was a very tedious process. As you can see here, my dad's like fed up. And the pile of trash there full of stuff needed to go out. But we did what we could with what we had. We had to clean it up. We couldn't wait a day. We couldn't strategize. We really had to start cleaning up because it's mud water. You don't want to play with mud water because mud water is contaminated water, and you need to clean that shit up as soon as possible. Day 2, I woke up stupid early and drove all the way from my apartment to the house, and I basically saw the aftermath of what everybody was doing. My neighbors threw out everything. There was nothing they could save, like microwaves, fridges, TVs. It was completely gone. But for some reason, our refrigerator survived. We turned it on, we waited a few hours, and it was cold. So yeah, that's one good news out of all this. This little refrigerator made it. Which was weird because this thing was on its back when we opened the door. So yeah, good thing. So this is it doesn't look like progress, but we really did a lot to make this somewhat feasible. And this is the only piece of furniture that survived because it's solid wood. And this is my brother just washing out the muck from the walls because you don't want to have that thing sticking on the walls. We tried to save as much furniture as we could. We tried to wash the cushions and all that, but at this point we're like, there's really no point because it's so saturated with this water that it might as well just throw it out. So we threw a lot of our furniture out, a lot of our items. A lot of my mother's things had to go because it was just contaminated. I mean, we could spend hours cleaning it to a feasible level, but there's really no point. So here's some of the guys throwing our stuff away, which was pretty sad because, these cabinets, these tables, I knew since I was a kid not to be just thrown out and dumped out. And there it goes. Day 3 was a bit of a clusterfuck. It was completely jammed up. A lot of dumpster trucks, a lot of tractors were going into the town trying to clean up, so it caused a huge jam. But as you can see here, it wasn't a pretty sight. The mud was still around. Furniture was starting to pile up on the roadside. It was pandemonium, and I was in a jam for I think close to an hour trying to get to the house. And for some reason my hands started to look like this. Maybe it's because all the water I've been exposed to, and yeah, I got a huge gash as well, so yeah, it's pretty great. So this is the street leading into my town basically, and you can see it's pretty fucked up. So my neighbors managed to get a skiff for the houses next to me, and they said we could share, which is, you know, very neighborly of them. But truthfully, we didn't have a lot to throw away because we don't really live in that house. We just use it as a storage, but you know, it was a nice gesture. We have some of the people trying to direct this guy to park the thing, and this is what it looked like 30 minutes in. That's how much stuff that everybody had just thrown away. It was pretty sad because this particular couch was from China during the 1980s. My parents brought it back. It was always in the house. I never seen the house without it, but unfortunately we can't really save these furnitures because it's been warped to an extent that we can't really repair it. As you can see here, it's been split open. There's no fixing that because the water basically soaked it up. It enlarged, and when it basically dried, it shrunk violently, so it snapped and it can't really be glued back, you know. If you guys know how wood works, you understand. So but that's basically what happens to the couches, so we had to throw them all out, unfortunately. This day I was doing this whole cleanup alone because my brother had to get a booster shot, and my dad was already tired, and my other brother had to report to work, so I had to carry on alone, unfortunately. So my target today was basically to clean up the back of the house. As you see here, it was a lot to do, so I had to, you know, get on with it. No point complaining. But as I was moving around stuff and moving around boxes, I noticed something moving at the peripheral of my eye, and when I lifted a box, I saw this fucking thing. Now I honestly don't know what it is. I took pictures. People say it's a snake. I think it looks like an eel because it has a weird head, but whatever it is, it freaked the fuck out of me. So I named it George. I put it in a bucket, and we enjoyed the whole day together. I didn't have footage of me releasing it. I released it in a little canal, and after 10 minutes I checked up on him and he was gone. So I hope he was still alive because, you know, I didn't want him to die. And then we have Lisa here, the little frog that basically hopped on my toe and hopped away. So this is the back of the room. We had to disinfect the floors, so no contaminants, no weird mud creatures or whatever would survive. So we basically disinfected the floor, and this is how it looks like. So this day was pretty annoying because we had to bring everything we took out back into the house and reorganize everything. We had to make it a little flood proof, so all the fragile stuff had to go upstairs, all the linen and all that had to go upstairs. We still had to tackle my dad's car collection here. I honestly don't know how to tackle these because it's so intricate. It's not like wiping it with a towel. You really have to go into these nooks and crannies, but I think we settled this on a different day, not this day. But as you can see, the flood basically ruined all these car models. So we went out, made sure everything was properly rinsed off and put back in the house. As you can see here, we still had a lot of things to deal with, a lot of annoying things to deal with, but we had to deal with it, no point complaining. The back of the room already cleaned up. already organized, so it's looking pretty good so far. And we had to wash all the dishes that was in the cabinets, all of them, not one was spared. And we also had to disinfect all the carpets because it started to really stink. So yeah, that was really fun. This day we celebrated Christmas with my in-laws because I really needed to take a break. I was getting fatigued, my back was gone, and my fingers started to tremble. So I took this day off and basically I had chicken. And I had to reorganize the garden because it's been raining a lot, and I was scared that these cactuses were getting too much water, so we had to move them up. We had to move them all so they don't die, which is very annoying. And we also had this cat we had to look after as well because she just came back from surgery and she was getting a little antsy. So last day we just finishing up things, putting stuff back in and washing up. You can see the driveway is completely clean. This is my brother making sure every part of it has no more mud. I mean, we rinsed out the car, we cleaned it up, but it was no point. As you can see, it still looks like shit and it didn't run at all. So we're trying to figure out what to do with this car. So there's the back room all cleaned up, all reorganized. As you can see, we did the best we could, and yeah, it's done. This is the back storage room. We put everything back in, washed everything, and yeah, this is how it looks now. Everything reorganized, and yeah, flood proof hopefully. Here's the kitchen. Mud's gone, everything's wiped down. It took a very long time for this area because all the drawers and all the stuff that was in the cabinets. Living room's done. Floor has been mopped to hell. My little brother kept mopping non-stop just to make sure he got every inch. But yeah, we managed to clean up the house. This is the other angle of the house. You can see the line of the flood is still there. I don't think that'll ever go away. It's been stained to the wall permanently. The skiff outside finally went off, full of our garbage, neighbor's garbage as well. Fridge we turned off, cleaned out. As you can see, it still looks pristine, and yeah, we were all ready to go. So yeah, that's what happened to me last week. I'm gonna take a few weeks off. I don't think I'll be doing any more reviews for now, because I've been working from 6 in the morning until 8 at night cleaning this damn house. So I'm gonna take a break. So yeah, what's new with you?